before we get to today's video, and since the last video I think was adding the rest of the piranha to the 700-gallon tank, I thought I included feeding them, but I didn't. They're kind of getting a little antsy and want to eat because I accidentally got a little bit of shrimp juice in the tank. But you guys haven't got to see them eat yet, so we'll quickly feed them. And we haven't seen them eat as their new pack of darn near 30. So we'll just quickly admire this. This is insane. This is absolutely ridiculous. I kind of feel like the Tetras almost take away from it, but maybe not. As you can see, everybody's eating. Look, the little guy's eating. He's got a chunk. Everybody's eating. Absolutely amazing. I gotta take this off this tripod so you can get a better look. Sorry, I'm such an amateur. Yeah, so some people asked, well, there were questions about this tank specifically, and that was, one of them was like, how are you going to feed the little guys? And is feeding going to change? And not really. Piranhas aren't really gluttons, so once they get their fill, they'll stop going after food. So basically, I just need to feed this tank more than I typically do, even though they're not going after this right now. We got a little baby coming over. The big guys will probably get their fill first, or some of the smaller ones will get some and get chased around by the big guys, but eventually the bigger ones will stop doing that, and the little guys can get their fill as well. They will catch up in size, the little ones, in time, probably within 6 to 8 months is likely what I would estimate, and that's simply because once the bigger a fish gets, the slower they grow. A fish's entire purpose is to reproduce, and they got to get to that stage incredibly fast. So they spend not very much time being this small. This tank is just insane. I think they're a little more skittish now that I'm close to the tank. I'm just going to back up a little bit so they'll go get their food. I was like standing right up to it. Isn't that awesome? One will grab a piece and then they'll go eat it. Just absolutely incredible tank. Beautiful. Some people are saying this is their favorite aquarium of mine thus far. I don't know if I agree, but I love it. I can't say any aquarium, you know, is... I could stand in front of a fish tank and it's my favorite fish tank. It's kind of like having children. Like, you love them all the same and equally, but, you know, for different reasons. It'd be hard to pick one that is your favorite. But if you know me really well, you kind of know that's a bit of a lie, because if I had to have only one aquarium, it's going to be the 2000. Ooh, we're getting a little antsy. Whew, eat up, boys. Feeding shrimp like this, market shrimp just in the bag, is so clean. Look at the Bisher. He'll get a piece. He steals it from the Severums because they're weak, pathetic fools in this tank. They're all healthy, though. All doing really well. I know you guys probably want to see the arowana and stuff, but a ton of pumps in the background. They're just trying different flows and stuff. I'm keeping an eye on the Bisher. He's hilarious. Oh, he might even go over to that Severum that's got a piece. Yep, watch. He's going to steal it from him. Do you see it? Do you see what I'm talking about? He didn't get it that time, and I don't have enough time to sit here and watch him, but that's how he gets his food. He just steals it from the Severums. Anyways, today we're shutting down my favorite aquarium, and it's not the 2000. It's technically my favorite African cichlid aquarium, and we've had a few examples out here in the gallery previously. We've done Lake Malawi a couple of times, as well as Lake Tanganyika several times, but this Lake Tanganyika tank is certainly my favorite. I love it. I'm already in the process of shutting it down. To be honest, I was just going to do this, and then I thought, you know, I really got to start showing everybody that I do out here, because this is like a meditation thing for me. I love to maintain the tanks, not just feeding them and stuff. Feeding's of course fun, but anyways, if you remember, and the fish are a little scattered because my hands are all in the tank, but if you remember, there are some shell dwellers. These are just Similis, or I'm sorry, Multifasciatus, so the most common technically, and then a lot of Frontosa. and I loved the scape of this tank. But we have a big problem. It's not even that big of a problem. I just set up another tank up here because you guys know that, you know, once we got set up the discus tank, this tank was empty. Moving the piranha, this tank is empty. The saltwater tank, I've got to move up to the piranha tank. I want all the tanks up top right now because the bottom ones are easier to move because I have something bigger planned that I'm working on right now that I'm trying to give you sneak peeks because I'm horrible at keeping secrets. Anyways, I need this tank and I want to test them in a new scape that's a little more sparsely scaped. So these is just a few Aqua Decor rocks. This is one thing and then a couple more, some black gravel. And I want to see how that goes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shells and I think I'm going to scatter them all around. The Frontosa will go in and out. They're mid-water swimmers anyways. Because this tank is impossible to maintain. I can't get under the crevices. When I take these rocks out, I can just imagine how filthy it's going to be and how big some of these Frontosa are going to be. I've already gotten started. All I'm going to do with this tank is I took all their sponges out. This is the pre-filter that was in the filter that we built. I'll take all of their biological media. We might as well take a peek at it. It's all jammed in there. Probably about 5 gallons worth. And simply transfer it up into here. And this tank will be ready to go almost instantly. Now, because we are transferring quite a few fish over, I'm not going to worry about a mini cycle, meaning that there's not enough ammonia in the water to cycle the or to keep the bacteria alive, because we are transferring a relatively high bioload to it, and I'll feed them almost immediately, so we should be fine. I do this damn near all the time. In my opinion, there's nothing worth more in the aquarium hobby than cycled sponges and cycled media, and for a big reason. Obviously, the nitrogen cycle saves your fish, keeps them alive, but it also saves time. 6 weeks typically to cycle a filter, and I always have cycled media. Worst case scenario, I put a ton in the 2000 filter, and this bucket up here is filled as well, so this is all filled with biological media. Oh yeah, and this tank is empty in the first place because we just looked at them. The archer fish, the monos and the scats are above the 2,000 gallon now. Isn't that tank gorgeous? So it might be difficult to see on camera, but the I don't remember what it's called, like vision, the depth of the tank, it looks like it goes on forever. It's just insane. If I had any plants or painted the background or anything like that, the tank wouldn't look so shallow, or would look far more shallow. But the positioning of the lights and how the logs look kind of like shadowy just make it look like this tank is so deep. It's only 3 feet deep front to back, 2 feet tall, 8 feet long. You guys will remember this. I got a video on exactly how I built this. But anyways, plan of action to shut this tank down and move it. I got to keep those rocks too. But I'm going to drain the water. You guys can look at the tanks, not me. I'm going to drain, oh, the little baby's in there. I'm going to drain the water. Oh, and that was a big problem when I set it up. Nobody believed that the shell dwellers were going to do okay with the Frontosa, but their population exploded. A lot of it had to do with the scape of this, so I'm a little bit worried about the new scape and not having it. So the rocks concentrated over here keep the Frontosa over there, and as they slope down, it's more open water, which the Frontosa will stay up here, and they just leave these guys entirely and completely alone. Lord knows, maybe they've eaten a couple here and there, but I certainly can't tell by their population. Mind you, I think there's like 20 Frontosa in there. I really don't know. We might even have to use this opportunity to sex them, but I don't think I have enough time tonight. But putting them up in this tank makes them a lot easier to catch, because that's something else that I want to do in the near future, is dwindle the males and females. I only want 1 or 2, maybe 3 males, depends on how many I have, and then the rest females, and that's how you create a harem. A lot of the times with especially African cichlids is, well, let's just focus on Frontosa, but 1 male and 4 to 6 females is perfect, and they'll create an entire colony for you, and that's its harem. But because it's a 180 gallon tank, I'm thinking maybe I can have 2 or 3 males and the rest females, but I don't know how many of each I have. I got to figure it out first. But it's going to be impossible to do it in here. So a lot of reasons why I kind of want to move these guys, and it's just the perfect timing, and I thought I'd execute on it now. So need the tank for something I'm working on. Need them moved up to the top tank because these ones are easier to move out. These tanks are all something cool is going to happen. Plus I want to be able to sex them. I'm still on 0.1, aren't I? I don't know how many. And I want to test them out in a new scape because I have a plan for them and stuff. But this is why I don't film these things, because I become a scatterbrain. I just want to do it. I'm going to drain the water, remove as many of the rocks out as possible. Hopefully I don't cloud the water up too much, but I'll move the shell dwellers first. And to move them, let's see if I can move one right now. Watch how funny this is. Get in. I think we're going to focus. So there's a girl right there. So if I put my hand, look, see what just happened? They just dart into their shells. I don't know where she went, but maybe in this one. Yeah, there's her tail. But I can just pick this up, keep the water in it, because these are waterproof, watertight, put it in a bucket, drop it into the new tank. Pretty cool, eh? So shell dwellers are really easy to move. What's even cooler is if you sell shell dwellers, what you should do is, and I don't see it being done often, sell them in the shell. Because people are going to bring them home and they're not going to have shells. I just get these on Amazon. And they're just extra large escargot shells. Oh, it feels so good to say that. I do not want to have to keep answering that DMs and comments. Where do you get your shells? What are they? They're escargot shells. You can find them in craft stores and all kinds of things. Typically in the Tanganyika waters, they have a specific species of snail that they only live inside, but they'll make do with this. Anyways, if I were to, my hands smell like fish. If I were to sell Similis, I would definitely put them in the shell and add in 2 or 3 extra shells. Not only are you going to ensure the fish isn't going to be stressed out or not, or anything, but you could even be like, for $5 more, I'll sell them in the shells with a few extras. I'd be a buyer, 100%. I hope I just helped somebody out that breeds and sells shell dwellers. The downside is they don't display well in bags or I'm sorry, in a shell, so that kind of sucks. Anyways, let's I'm gonna drain this. You guys are gonna have to go on a tripod and I'll just talk to you as I do a bunch of this. Yeah, so a little while ago I talked about I want to go back to like making the old the videos like I used to make, etc. And nobody knew what that meant. Some people are like, yeah, bring back the do-it-yourself. I'm always doing do-it-yourself, but it's hard to make a feature video where you've already done it before. So I don't know if I want to go back to like vlogging, but I just want to like do this because Lord knows what I'm going to talk about, or, you know, I'm supposed to just shut this down and move it, but, you know, we fed the piranha. I just gave you a bunch of little tidbits of useful information here. And just like little educational things, but Lord knows what's going to come across my mind when I'm doing these things, because that's all I think about. Usually I'll just put headphones on and I'll listen to a podcast or something, but I'd rather talk to you. I'm also thinking about bringing back my live videos. You guys remember when I used to do lives? I think I only did about 20 of them on YouTube. Also, I joked about this like 4 or 5 years ago. About doing water changes, and I'm like, there's no reason you should be sucking on the end of that hose to get water started. You just fill your tube up, empty it, and keep doing that till it comes out. Remember the time we were setting up the, I used to have so much fun in those lives, and we wouldn't really do much. I would just kind of sit there and talk to you or show you some stuff, and there was, every single one of them were on my phone, but one of them, it's the only thing I don't like about these tanks is the brace. This brace got to be 16 inches wide. 3/4 inch, what is that, 3/4 inch? No, 1/2 inch thick. These tanks are heavy. 2 people can move it from here, 4 people have to do it from here. But yeah, in one of those lives, is one of the funniest moments. I was filling the 2000 up, and I knew in advance that I was going to pretend it sprung a leak. And that video, I think it peaked at like, there was like almost 9,000 people watching concurrently, and I trolled everybody. Jumped out, or ran off, it's leaking, oh my god, like that, something like that. And then when I came back, the chat bar was just going brrrr, I'm probably gonna delete this from the video. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it was hilarious. It was one of my best trolls. And then I said I was joking. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that drain. I guess while I let that drain, we can, maybe I should have Tamara out here holding the camera and follow me around, so I don't gotta keep doing this type of stuff. But yeah, I guess I never taken production very seriously. Depends on my mood though. Sometimes I'll do like jump cuts, sometimes I continuously move directions, and I just wanna try this one video. It might be boring, I might be talking too much. I hear that sometimes, like, oh, you talk too much to show the fish. Do I talk too much on YouTube? We're supposed to be talking about something? I like to hear my own voice. Leave me alone. I'm going to move the sponges first. Add them to the filtration. As that drains, of course. I'm not going to make you guys sit around waiting for that tank to drain. This isn't a live video. In fact, I don't know if any of this is going to make it to the final video. But, yeah, so for these, I have the first compartment here is just mechanical. I don't take mechanical filtration too seriously on these tanks, on these setups, because there's so much sponge in here. The sponge technically acts as biological filtration for me as well, and I kind of just jam it in here, and that's it. And then when I'm doing water changes or maintenance on the tank, I just you know, grab the sponges and rinse them in a bucket of water, and that's it. Other than that, I don't do anything else. All right, gotta do the biological media as well. Let's just jump to that. All right, there wasn't as much biological media in there as I had originally estimated, but I think I used some for other places or other tanks. It's quite a bit, and it's a mixture of different types. So you'll have your basic ceramic media that you'll find in like a canister filter. You got these bio balls. You guys know I've been using those for years. These are the same ones that I got 6 years ago. Just keep using them. A lot of people will talk about biological media and it deteriorates over time, gets clogged, etc., etc. Okay, keep buying yours. I'll just use mine for years. And then these things, I've been trying them. You get them on Amazon. I think a lot of people are talking about them. I don't know how I feel about them yet. I need a couple of years, or at least a year, with them with real-time use before I make a video or talk about them. And it's getting close to that, and I don't know. They're not bad, but I think I'm just gonna dump this stuff in. It's gonna cloud the water up a bit because there's some mulm on it and whatnot. Mulm's detritus, essentially. Uneaten fish food, fish poop, fish waste, dead plants. Feeds the bacteria in your aquarium. But I'm probably gonna have to add a little bit more biological media. I think I took some to help out the 2000. I've been back to messing with that filter because I hate it, but it is what it is. Is this broken? Was. Yeah, this video is going to be largely unedited. I think moving forward, if I do make these longer type videos where I'm just like literally bringing you along for my day and or something I'm working on, I'm going to have it, I'll have like Tamara hold the camera. Man, it looks like I'm wearing a deep V. I'm just trying to wear a microphone. I even stopped wearing microphones for the longest time because I just didn't want to. How did you get in there? There's a Frontosa in the filter. Must have jumped in. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, might as well look at how to siphon your aquarium. While we're here, if you ever wondered how to properly siphon your sand especially, or your substrate in your aquarium, I'll show you how to do that. Grab this like this so you could pinch it at any time. You want to be able to cut the water flow off on demand. Why? Because sometimes you're probably going to grab too much substrate or something, or maybe like see it coming up. And if you're the type that puts this into your sink or your bathtub or your toilet or something, you don't really want that in there. So if you start siphoning off too much and you need to stop it, you could pull it up, of course, but sometimes that's not going to stop it from sucking sand out or whatever. Pinch this and it cuts the flow off, or you can, of course, close the valve, but I'm stubborn and do things the way I've always done it. So I don't really have a dirty substrate here. A lot of the times, if I'm in a rush, I'll do a quick one and I'm just getting the top of it. Just like this, I just kind of brush it along. Probably 2-3 inches of substrate floating around in it. The substrate's heavy, so it sinks back down, but like uneaten food, fish poop, plants, that sort of thing will float up through it. And if I haven't done this for a while and I'm doing a big cleaning, I'll either do this, so I stuff it down all the way to the bottom, and I turn it over like this. If I had a smaller tank, that'd be fantastic, but one of the things I do instead, and I like to do the gravel before I do a water change because I can simply, I always make a mess, so I clean the glass and everything before I do the water change. But if I don't want a gravel vac, I'll come in here with my hand and just do this, move it all around, turn it over. We don't want any, food buried in there or anaerobic regions or anything like that, so I'll do that instead. And it sometimes will cloud your water, but after your water change, it's fine. And then usually a lot of the times as you're draining your tank, everything that you just stirred up will settle on the substrate and you can come right back. Next time I have like a really bad tank, I'll do all of that to it and then I'll come back like this and get all the crap that settled back down on it. But this isn't all that bad. I suspect under the rocks is though. Yeah, I think like one of the things that I wanted to do is like, especially with making videos for so long, is I already assume that you already know everything I've done and everything I've talked about, and I'll feel repetitive or something, but not everybody has seen everything. And me bringing you along for my day-to-day things, I can go back to talking about even the most basic, mundane things, which is a nice reminder, or for those that have been in the hobby for a while, or it kind of validates, like, oh yeah, I do that too. And it's kind of cool to see another hobbyist doing something you do, especially if you don't really have like hobbyist friends and that sort of thing, or anybody that was willing to put up with you and listen to you talk about fish tanks every day, like me. But yeah, so I think this video, what we're watching right now, is a test video. I don't think I'll do them all the time. You guys know me, if you've been watching for long enough. I try different things all the time, just to see if they'll reach more people or I get bored. Or one of the things I gotta stop doing is only making 2 or 3 videos a month. Like, that's ridiculous. 2 to 3 videos a month. There's a story behind that, and when I bring the podcast back here shortly, we're gonna dive really deep into that sort of thing. But I don't remember how I stacked all this up. Damn it. And I didn't cement them or glue them, so. Ooh, I wonder what the roots on these look like. They didn't even grow. Remember when we added these in? Look at this. So they're not dead. That's the thing about Anubias. It didn't really grow either. They didn't die, but they didn't grow. Yeah, so when I do shut an aquarium down, I move relatively quickly. Obviously, I start by shutting off all of the, yeah, these are white. They're growing. I think I'm just pulling the roots out. I start by shutting off all the equipment. Ooh, this one's like attached to the rock. Yeah, they're doing good. Anyways, I start by shutting off all the equipment. I immediately begin to drain the water and I work on filtration next. Whether I'm, man, this is cool. Look at this one. Pick the whole damn rock up with it. You see that? Damn. Interesting, eh? I didn't even glue that. I just like kind of set it on top and it attached itself to it. We know that Anubias does that, but I rarely actually see it happen because I'm always gluing them in place because I don't have patience for that. Yeah, so as, like I said, I move rather quickly. I shut off all the equipment. I don't want to get electrocuted or forget I left the heater on or pump or anything like that. So filtration, shut off first, all the equipment. I begin draining it immediately because that's the thing that takes the longest. Then I start removing the decor. And once I've got all the decor out, it's basically about this much water in it. And it's so much easier to catch the fish that way. Instead of doing, I don't know how you guys do it. Let me know how you shut an aquarium down in a basic order like I did. I don't want to read a novel. Just tell me the basics like I did if I even did that. But And then the substrate's the very last thing that I take out. And I just use a dustbin, you know, like a broom and dustpan. Dustpan, that's what they're called. And I'll scoop it out because they're flat and they get it easily, and I dump it into a bucket. And then the last like crumbs and stuff, shop vac. Oh, and for little rocks, so the big rocks I take out manually and I remove them, carry them out of the gallery manually. But for like a bunch of the boulder, like fist-sized ones, I'll grab a bucket. I'll just fill the bucket up like that and dump them where they're going. If you want to know where I dump my aquarium rocks, it's right outside the gallery, because I'll probably use them again. Yeah, this tank is cleaner than I thought it was going to be. Oh yeah, now we're getting into the business. Get rid of these. Yeah, another thing I don't think a lot of people know is I do all of this alone. All the videos, all the editing, all the aquarium keeping, all the ideas. I don't have a team. Obviously, I'd probably do a lot better if I did, but I never believed in that. I've never wanted to make this into a business. I could have and should have, but I never did. Oh, right, I filled the crevices in with these tiny little rocks. Now, one thing I don't want to do is I can't remember how that big rock, this big thing right there, that's one rock. And I don't remember how I set it up. But it's kind of doing a balancing act. All right, wish me luck with this big rock. Are you attached to that one? Oh man, I hope you're not. Oh, that's uneaten shrimp. I gave them some shrimp last night. And it's just floating under the rocks. Thank God I found it. Wouldn't have ended well. Market shrimp, the same type of stuff that I fed the piranha in the 2000 tonight. This tank is clean. It just has some algae. Not a lot of detritus at all. I thought it was going to be like, you can't even see into it. This is such a cool rock. Oh boy, it's ever heavy. Oh, how'd I get it in here? Oh my. Oh damn, I don't know how I'm going to get that really big one out. Yeah, if you weren't around for the setup, if you look at the bottom of this tank, it's got egg crate, lighting diffuser. I put that on the bottom to absorb and kind of take away any pressure points that like these sharp rocks might put on them. I do that with glass tanks. I don't care in an acrylic tank. There's no way a rock is going to break an acrylic tank from just sitting on it, regardless of the pressure. In fact, it's never happened in my time, but I've seen tanks break from too many rocks and jagged ones that are putting too much pressure on one point. That can happen. So egg crate underneath of it. Not a huge fan of it, but I really wanted to use these big rocks. And I had to do the egg crate because that last one must have been 50 pounds. And the worst is this is only like maybe a 10-inch gap, 12-inch gap. I'm lifting with my back when I pick these up. I don't know. I don't remember how I got it in there. I know they're always easy to put in than take out. All right. All the front toes are over here. Damn it. Yeah, it is balanced on other rocks. Put you guys right there with me, so if I get hurt, at least you watched me go down. Oh yeah. What? Another gigantic rock. There's front toes under this. Would you guys get the hell out of here? Like seriously. Oh, that one's huge. I think I'm just gonna pick this one up. I already got it up. Oh my, I can't. It's way too heavy. How the hell did I get it in here? Oh man. Oh, this isn't gonna end well. Oh, I want to weigh it, but my scale in the house is made of glass. I thought this would definitely break it. Holy shit. Why on earth did I think this was going to be a good idea? Oh, I guess I was going to the gym at the time. Oh, man. This is ridiculous. Oh! Yeah, I'm glad I got that one first instead of saving it for last. That would have been a horrible thing to end this on. Oh my lord, this one's heavy too. Yeah, I see what I'm talking about. Now that we got all the decor out, we're left with just the fish and not much more water to. So I do this in, it's almost like draining the tank is my little sand timer, whatever those are called. I'm tired. I'm gonna take all these plants and put them in that tank. I might do the shell dwellers last. Just gonna take some water from the bucket, or from the tank, to fill the bucket. Oh, damn it. There's not enough length. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Lovely. I waited too long to fill this bucket. Ooh, you're a big boy. This is the biggest guy. The biggest male. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see him. Yeah, put your head out. Look at his blue cheeks. Isn't he beautiful? I don't know if you can see him, but he's gotta get in the water. Yeah, he must be 7 or 8 inches now. I think I counted a dozen. Yeah, dozen. All right, into the tank they're going. Yeah, this is gonna be perfect. I can actually see them now. Oh, I just stuffed the Anubias in there. I can give them a few minutes to settle in, but we'll be able to actually see them. I think the darker substrate might suit them better as well. I think what we'll do is we're just gonna grab the shells and toss them in this bucket. Oh yeah, some of the babies swimming out of the shells. They're gonna be fun to catch. Gotta search underneath the substrate as well, because they will bury them shells. This is gonna be a little more difficult because they're gonna float. So I'm just gonna pour them in. I think I'll pour in some here and pour some over there. Keep it simple. A lot of these are gonna float anyway until I sink them. There's a bit of white substrate going in there too, but that'll technically sink into the bottom of the black. Finer substrate always goes to the bottom. All right, now sink these, put them under the water and kind of shake them around. It's only a tiny little pocket of air that's in there too, so if there is any fish in them, they're still fine. Looks like some of them are just sinking on their own. This is the most annoying part about having having shell dwellers, is if you need to move the entire colony, it's time consuming. Just do this the whole time. I can start to see some of the adults coming out. Yeah, a few minutes in, they're gonna be fine. I think they're struggling with the flow. It's kind of blowing like this. If you could see, it's a little cloudy in here. So if we look kind of closely, you can see like a little bit of particles and how they move throughout the tank, but are creating a cylindrical flow here. And they're all kind of over in here, but they'll figure it out where they want to go. I just want to try this scape. I'm thinking about an even bigger tank. Even some of the Simulus are out right now, right in the back there, if you can see it. Oh, they're not Simulus, multifasciatus, my bad. I wish the Frontosa would come out to the front, but so we can actually see them because the tank's so dark, but oh well, that's how moving my favorite African cichlid aquarium went. Oh, Shell. Come here, come here. Aww. One little air bubble. Yeah, I'm gonna call it quits on tonight. Tank is still kind of draining a little bit, finish off the rest of that water. Obviously remove the equipment and whatnot, get that substrate out, but I can't see me continuously making a video doing that sort of thing, but I'll probably pick up and finish it up tomorrow. But if you guys kind of I know this is a very sloppy video, wouldn't be heavy on editing, I didn't keep the rhythm going, etc., etc. I just like to try new things and try different ways of filming and try different ways of talking. And I mean, if you never try anything, you never improve, I guess. And not that I think I need to improve, but I never get to talk to you guys. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.